Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back. I hope you guys are doing fantastic out there. I've got an interesting video for you today. We're going to talk about a new offering from Oupes. This is their 1200 watt portable power station. Now, the current retail price at the time of me filming this video for this power station is $799. The outdoor power station with family style design. I'm very excited about sharing this with you, and I want to say thank you right off the bat to Oupes for sending this power station out for me to review. Lithium iron phosphate battery, 31 amp hours, 32 volt, 992 watt hours. That is just absolutely fantastic, the battery technology that they have put in this unit. You can get 3,600 or more cycles out of the lifespan of this battery. So that means if you were to charge this unit every single day, 365 days out of the year, which we're not going to do, this battery would last 9.86 years. So just short of 10 years. DC input of 12 to 30 volts and up to 200 watts. I will put a link in the description box down below in this video where you can find this unit. And more importantly, if you want to save 15% off on purchasing one of these units, you can use the coupon code of Jiu-Jitsu 2000 at checkout. So the first thing that we see here is this box. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what's included in this box. You can see the user's manual right there. And there is a warranty card, warranty information. You have some cables. These are charging cables. So you have, looks like 12 volt to 8 millimeter. So for your car, you can charge this thing. And then you have like a computer type cable for a desktop computer. So it's the same kind of cable. And this is the one that will plug into this brick, and this brick is the charger for this unit. So there's several ways that you can charge this. So you plug this in, it corresponds, it only goes one way. Plug in the brick. You want to charge with the AC, so you'll plug this into a wall outlet in your home. It's got that 8 millimeter charge port right there. If you plug this in at home, it'll take about 6 hours to charge this unit. Now, if you're in your vehicle, in your car, and you're going to use this, it'll take about 12 hours to charge this unit. Now, this unit can also be charged via solar panels, and you can combine two 100 watt solar panels. So if you're running 200 watts of solar, you can charge this thing in about 8 hours. The unit's heavy. It weighs a little bit over 24 pounds. And as you can see, it comes packaged very well. So we're just going to tear this tape off and get this bad boy opened up. On the back there you can see there's a flashlight. Very interesting. There's a look at the one side. There's a look at the front. And there's a look at the other side. Now right here on the bottom there's a little label. So feel free to pause your screen if you want to hang on to that information. We're going to go ahead and charge this unit, so we'll just plug it right in here on the front where it says input. You can hear the fan kick on, and now this unit is going to begin to charge. It's going to tell me how many watts I'm bringing in, and that is impressive. 183 watts of input from that brick. 185. That is really good. Right here in the center you can see the capacity of the battery, and then you see the blue indicators spinning around. That's just telling us that there's activity that we're charging. Also below you'll see this little fan telling us that the fan is running. Very nice display on this unit. I like it. It's very clear, easy to read, nice display. If we go measure the length here, this is 12.99 inches. The height of the unit is 11.37 inches, and the depth of the unit is 8.66 inches. This unit weighs over 24 pounds. So let's take a minute and familiarize ourselves with the front of the unit here. We'll start with the DC input, the port that we're plugged into. This unit can receive anywhere from 12 to 30 volts and up to 200 watts of input. The next ports that you want to look at are these two DC ports right here. These are 5.5 by 2.1 millimeter ports. These ports will produce 12 volts at 5 amp of output. Right above that, you can see there's a car port, which will allow you to plug in things like this. And this port has an output of 12 volts at 10 amps. Right down here, we have a couple different USB options. There's two USB-A's. These USBs put out 5 volt 3 amp, 9 volt 2 amp, or 12 volt 1.5 amp. And right above that, you can see these dual USB-Cs. You've got one on the left which puts out a maximum output of 60 watts, and the one on the right puts out 18 watts. So you can use whichever one you need in accordance to what device you're going to be using. These both will put out 5 volt 3 amp, 9 volt 3 amp, 12 volt 3 amp, 15 volt 3 amp, or 20 volt 3 amp. So those are very impressive ports right there. You also have 3 AC power output ports. These will go from 100 volts all the way up to 120 volts, and you can go up to 1200 watts of output on these ports. Now that's a combined wattage output. You can't get 1200 out of each one. And the cool thing about this unit is you have 10 different devices that you could power simultaneously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now the operating temperature of this unit is anywhere from -10 to 65 degrees centigrade, and that's down to 14 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 149 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a pure sine wave output of AC, so that's very nice if you're going to be using any kind of medical equipment. Maybe it's a CPAP machine, or if you're going to be using sensitive electronics, maybe computers, TVs, things like that. It's a pure sine wave, and that's a very clean form of energy that this thing puts out. This unit does have a built-in MPPT charge controller built inside, and that's really nice. And on the batteries, there's also BMS protections on the batteries. So you have overcurrent protection, overvoltage protection, over discharge protection, over temperature protection, short circuit protection. So this thing is built with very nice protection systems in that battery management system. This unit is air cooled. It does come with a 2-year warranty. You can see the flashlight. So we'll just push that button and the light comes on. Push it again, it goes to high, and push it a third time, and we have an SOS beacon on this unit. So this is really cool. If your car broke down or something, you had to fix a flat tire or something like that. And I like the way this light works. It always goes to low first, and then it goes to high. And then of course there is your SOS once again. They do offer a few other units. The one here on the left that you're looking at, this is the 600 watt unit. This one currently goes for about $399. And then of course the 1200 that we're talking about in this review, and they do make a larger one. It's an 1800 watt. That's $11.99 is the price on that one. Now I've been using this 600 watt unit for a while now, and it is absolutely fantastic. It's all the same specs for the most part of technology that's wrapped up in this unit. It also has a flashlight just like the other one. So you push it, it goes to low. It also has a high, and then it also has that SOS, so it has the same functionality. The only difference on this one is it charges on the side. This one charges via solar very well. Now I'm thumbing through the user's manual, and I thought that this page might be fairly interesting for you. It'll give you all the different indicators and what those indicators represent in reference to the screen description. So you see these white circles, and they circle around a corresponding ports. So for example, if we want to turn on these AC ports, we just push that and we will see a couple new things. We'll see the AC output indicator turning on. We'll also see the time remaining, or the discharge time displayed. And then we can also see input in the form of watts and output in the form of watts. So if I turn the flashlight on the back, you'll see that it'll slowly start to respond to that wattage output in the form of that light. So we have 3 watts. If I bump it up to high, that flashlight, the wattage is going to climb a little bit, and you'll see that we are now drawing 6 watts to power that light on high. Now if I turn the light off, you'll see that it'll slowly respond back down to 0 because we don't have any output going out. Now if I push this button, because all these things are inside of this circle, it's going to turn on all of these things. So you'll see we have USB-A now turned on, which is these two. We have USB-C both turned on. We have car, which is this port turned on. And we have DC, which is these 5.5 by 2.1 millimeter DC output ports. So it's very, very cool how this display works. It's very easy to read, very easy to understand. Now I'm reading the manual about the solar panels because I have a lot of different solar panels, and I'm paying close attention to this paragraph right here. Please use our standard solar panels and adapters to charge the device. Otherwise, the device may not charge normally, and in severe cases, the lifespan will be reduced and the device may be damaged due to a short circuit. I thought this chart was pretty interesting. It tells you how many times you can charge your phone, your tablet PC, a little laptop, how many times, how long it'll run a 10-watt light, how many times you can charge maybe like an action camera like a GoPro or something, drones. I thought that chart was pretty cool. All the way down to a 40-watt ventilator, 21.8 hours. And here's some technical specifications of the unit. So if you want to hang on to any of that information, I talked about most of this stuff in the video here already. So one of them that I did not mention is the peak performance. So peak power is actually 3,600 watts. Pretty crazy. So if something has to start up, it can peak. Now this page right here is very interesting. More information about the battery. 992 watt hours, or 310,000 milliamp hour. And this next page is very important. Fault codes and troubleshooting. So error codes and the corresponding things to do. So I'll just slowly move through this. In the event that there might be somebody out there someday that has an error code, this would be a good spot for you to pause the video, and then you can read how to fix that error. So very cool. And that's all there is in the owner's manual to the English. Well, the unit is fully charged. The first item that I want to test on this unit is this small heater. This is a heater that I use quite often in my Chinook, and this thing is fantastic. It doesn't draw a lot of power, and it works really good. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on these AC units right here. So we'll plug this bad boy in, and we'll turn this on and see what we got for wattage draw. This thing's about 200 watts if I remember correctly. So it's got a little fan on it, and it works pretty good. And as you can see, the numbers, we're drawing 150, 160 and climbing. Now what I really like about this display is these numbers are in real time. So if I was to continue this load of 210 watts, for example, it's telling me that I could probably get away with this for about 5 hours of runtime. This is my little sunbeam heater. This has a low, well, it's got a fan, a low and a high, and this thing works pretty good. So we'll see what it does on this one. So just the fan alone, we're drawing 12 watts and it'll last about 99 hours. So that's pretty impressive. Now if I turn this switch up to the first notch, that's low heat, and it's going to do the same thing that the other heater did. It's going to climb up and kind of get to where it needs to finish, and you can see that the numbers are corresponding. They're staying updated with what's going on here. I can really hear the fan now. The input wattage just kicked in because I'm still plugged into the charger. It'll let me charge while I'm discharging, so that's pretty cool. The hour is based on this wattage here, so I'm going to unplug and we'll just see only what the unit's doing. So 660 watts, it'll last about an hour. So it looks like it leveled off around 663. Now if I kick this up to high, we're really going to test this unit. Now this might push the limits to what this solar generator can do. We're over 1200 watts right now, 1236 to run this heater. That is crazy. The numbers are dropping. There we go. We're dropping down 60 minutes, 1173. So we just showed that this unit is more than capable of pulling the rated wattage of what they advertise this unit as, 1200 watts. Remember, it peaks at like 3600, I think is what I read. So we are currently drawing 1127 watts, and it'll run for about 55 minutes on that load. I'd like to try this little Makita router now. This is an old router. It says on the side that it pulls 7 amps. So we're going to take a look at this and see what kind of numbers we get out of this. 7 amps. Hopefully you're seeing that. So now let me go ahead and turn this on and see what the numbers do. So as you could see, that router was drawing about 250 watts. That's because the router was not under a load. Anytime you put something under a load, the amperages climb and the wattage pool would have climbed. So I would have expected this router under a load to show numbers of about 700 watts of draw. Okay, we've got a little 4.5 inch grinder here. This is 7.5 amps draw. So we'll plug this in, and I think we're going to see the same thing. It's not going to come up to those high numbers because we're not actually putting this up to a load. So a little bit over 300 watts without a load. Once we put that thing against a piece of metal, those numbers are going to climb in wattage output. So probably around 750, maybe even 800 watts this thing will pull. So as you can see, this 1200 unit powers this thing with flying colors. One of my favorite things to test on these units is battery chargers for my Makita batteries. That's because I use power tools and things all the time. I keep one of these out in my Chinook. I keep a single bay, and then this dual bay requires a little bit more power because, as you can see, it'll charge 2 batteries simultaneously. It also has a USB port here if I want to charge my phone. So let's go ahead and plug this in. I'm very curious. I'm pretty confident that it's going to run this battery charger with no problems. As you can see here, there are green indicators telling me that it's ready to charge batteries. So we're not really drawing any wattage yet. I'll put the first battery in, and you can see that that went red. Let's get this back on. That went red. We're going to start to see numbers climb here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and slap in this other one and take a look at the numbers. We have a red indicator on both of these, and I need to let both of these batteries charge. They were both dead. So numbers are continuing to climb. 3 hours of run time at this rate. And these batteries take about 35-45 minutes to charge. So this is a really good test for this unit. And I really like this rubber side on these units. It's really nice. And then on the bottom they have these nice rubber feet. So these units are built really nice. So I think these are some of the best units on the market, to be completely honest with you. The battery here on the left is red-green, so it's almost finished. So that's pretty cool. You can see the wattage is starting to drop and the run time is counting up, because as these get close to the end of their charge, the wattages drop. So very cool. This thing is working very well. And if I had a good maybe 100-watt solar panel or even 200 watts, I could do that pass-through and be charging while I'm drawing. So I just love that feature that these units have, that pass-through charging. I think it's fantastic. Okay, this battery on the left is finished. I could test this battery. So now I'm able to use my power tools. There's my drill. That works just fine. Circular saw. Very nice. Here's my grinder. So that works good. Maybe I'm out camping and I have my Sawzall with me. Good to go. What about a router? Yep, no problem there. So now we have the other battery finished. We can go ahead and disconnect our charger and we have everything working. I love the fact that this unit will charge these batteries and the fact that it'll do it simultaneously, because some of my power tools actually require 2 batteries, kind of like this little rear handled saw here. You put the 2 batteries in, put the rafter hook down, and now look at this. This is a 7 1/4 inch blade. It's just fantastic to be able to use this unit to charge these batteries. So if I'm out camping or I'm out doing something and I need to run a pretty heavy power tool, I can do that with this unit. I can charge these batteries back up. What if I'm out camping and I have my chainsaw? It also requires 2 batteries. So I just pop them in, push the button, make sure the brake's off, and now I'm cutting wood. That's just fantastic to be able to do that with this unit, to charge these tools up. That's a big thing for me. How about a 6-quart pressure cooker? So I've got my Instant Pot right here. We're gonna go ahead and plug that bad boy in. Let's get the bowl in there. We'll put some water in here for the test. And I will just go to the saute function because that is gonna draw a lot of juice. Click this thing on saute, and I'm just waiting for these numbers to start climbing. This thing, like I said, it'll draw almost 1,000 watts. So we're at 815 right now, and this is a pretty good test also for this unit. These things work good. If you're gonna pressure cook a chicken, I can put a whole chicken in here. I could put a large turkey breast in here. And to be able to run this and cook things off of this unit is just fantastic. 816 watts as we speak. I was actually expecting to see a little bit more. Let me try something else. I'm going to cancel that. We're going to put the lid on and we'll just actually go to some pressure cooking. This thing's gonna kick on here and it's gonna start to pressurize, and we'll start to see these wattages climb. So hopefully you guys are seeing those numbers. The saute function, we got up to 800 and something, so 816 is what I'm showing here. Wow, that's crazy, because this thing normally draws, I thought, 1,000 watts, but looks like I'm wrong. So if we had to cook a full turkey breast or a full-size chicken, that generally takes about 35 minutes of cooking, and we can clearly do that with this. But like I said a second ago, when it gets up to pressure, these numbers drop, and it gets up to pressure within like a couple of minutes. 817 watts of pool, no problem. This thing does it just fine. The smaller unit won't run my pressure cooker. It'll do some of the power tools, it'll do the battery charger, it'll do all the peripherals like charging cameras and things like that, but it won't do this big heavy stuff like this. Okay, while we're waiting for this pressure cooker to come up to pressure, we're gonna play with some of the USB right now. I've already turned the USB on. I've got my GoPro Hero 9 Black Edition here. I'm gonna plug this peripheral in, and we should see this little red indicator come on right there, telling us that our GoPro is charging. Now, I'm not doing a lot of USB and 12 volt peripheral kind of stuff in this video, because this is such a powerful unit. These things are almost pointless. The amount of times that you could charge your phone or do some little USB stuff with this kind of a device, even the smaller one, I mean, it'll do these things all day long, every day, no problem. So the tests that I like to run on this type of unit is these larger tests that are going to require a lot more power. I wish that this screen would stay on the whole time. Another thing I noticed is a minute ago I had this smaller unit too close to the fan, so I want to point that out. Make sure that you got some air space if you're going to be putting this unit maybe in a cubby hole or putting it down in a cabinet. Maybe you're going to have it in your RV or something. Make sure that that unit has a little bit of couple of inches all the way around it for airflow. Okay, we just came up to pressure. Watch these numbers, they're dropping. We're pressurized, the counter has started, the numbers dropped to almost nothing because it's pressurized now. So now you're going to see the amount of hours climb up because the wattage output has went down. Very cool. So now at this point we're basically cooking our food for free, because the only wattage draw that we had was to bring it up to pressure. You see the fan kicked off, and now we're only drawing what it takes to charge my GoPro. Well folks, my final thoughts on these units, both of them, they're absolutely fantastic. Big thumbs up from me. I love the fact that both of these units use the premium components inside. When you're charging them via solar, they use MPPT charge controllers. I love the fact that they have lithium iron phosphate batteries with BMS on them. I love the fact that the display is very clean, very easy to read. They have pure sine wave inverters, which produces the cleanest electricity possible. So if you're using medical equipment or sensitive electronics, maybe laptops or televisions, gaming systems, things like that, these units are fantastic for that. I wish the display would stay on the whole time, but I know why they didn't do that. It's just drawing energy, and they don't want to draw unnecessary energy. As far as the USB ports are concerned, it is absolutely fantastic. I can charge my drones, my phones. That's why I didn't show a lot of that in this video, because the amount of power that's under the hood on these things, it just, USB is so minimal of what it requires. That's why I tested a lot of the bigger stuff in this video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. These displays are so simple and easy to read. Turning on the applicable port that you need to use is very simple, because they keep them in a corral and you just push the corresponding button, and it's so simple the way they've done these units. The light is bright, The fan works good. They do what they advertise. I mean, we saw in this video over 1200 watts of output. And that's something that a lot of manufacturers don't do. They'll advertise, oh, it's a 500 watt unit, and you'll get into testing on it and you'll draw 400 watts and the unit will give you some error code or something. We did not see that in this unit. And we didn't see that in the 600 either. These are fantastic units. I don't have nothing negative to say about either one of them. I would like to test their solar panels. I think they're going to be good. If they're anything like these units, the solar panels are going to blow your socks off too, I'm guessing. So folks, I want to say thank you for joining me today on this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some good, useful information. Please feel free to leave comments down below. Check the description box because I'll put links to where you can find these units. I really appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.